You didn't stumble on this video by chance. You're here for a reason, one that goes far deeper than you might think. In a world filled with distractions, chaos, and noise, something greater has drawn you to this very moment. You, yes you, were meant to hear what's coming. You're not just a wanderer in the crowd. You're someone marked with purpose, standing on the edge of something transformational. Welcome to Life Simplified, where truth meets timing, and today, timing is everything. Right now, the universe is aligning in ways you can't yet see. The stillness you felt lately, the heaviness, the sense that something is about to shift, that's not your imagination. It's your spirit preparing for a breakthrough. This moment isn't random. It's a divine nudge. Something within you, something sacred and powerful, has been stirred for a reason. What's about to unfold is not just inspiration, it's revelation. So pause, breathe, let your guard down, because this is the message you didn't know you were waiting for. There's a spiritual momentum moving in your life right now. Even if it doesn't look like it on the outside, even if you're surrounded by silence, confusion, or resistance, something has already changed. That quiet whisper you've been ignoring, it's been heaven's way of saying, get ready. And you've just stepped into the appointed time where the wait ends and the fulfillment begins. You may have heard the words perfect timing tossed around before. But what if I told you that right now, in this exact hour, you've collided with the kind of timing that rewrites destinies? You're not early. You're not late. You're exactly where you need to be. This is not just time passing. This is your moment of divine alignment. The world has told you to hustle, to grind, to chase. But Life Simplified is here to remind you, sometimes the most powerful things happen when you stop chasing and start listening. Some of you have been walking through a season of waiting, and it's been hard. Maybe you've questioned your own progress, wondering why others seem to move forward while you feel stuck. But let me say this, what looks like delay is often preparation. The soil under your feet has been absorbing every tear, every prayer, every quiet act of faith, and now it's beginning to shift. The shift won't always look dramatic. It might start as a whisper, a nudge, a small step, but that doesn't make it any less powerful. In fact, it makes it even more sacred, because God doesn't always shout. Sometimes He speaks through your own persistence. Maybe today you did something small, something no one noticed. You got out of bed even though your heart was heavy. You encouraged someone even while you were struggling. You held on to hope even when everything told you to give up. And let me tell you, heaven noticed. Not only noticed, it rejoiced. We often measure progress by results, milestones, achievements. But the Spirit, it measures by courage, by faith, by those unseen moments when you chose light over darkness. Today, that choice you made in secret, yes, that one, echoed louder than any crowd's applause ever could. At this point in the journey, it's important to remember something vital. Your worth isn't measured by how perfect your path looks. It's measured by the strength it takes to walk it, especially when no one else is watching. So if you're still here, still breathing, still believing, still trying, then you're already victorious. And if this message is speaking to your heart, if you're feeling that unmistakable stirring within you, then don't forget to subscribe to Life Simplified. We're here to walk this path with you, to encourage, empower, and uplift every step of the way. Don't miss what's coming next. Now, let's get back to what brought you here. That sense that what you're going through isn't just pain or a struggle. It's a process. It's the fire before the gold, the night before the sunrise. What the world may call weakness, heaven calls endurance. What looks like a small act of obedience may very well be the pivot that changes everything. Imagine a child learning to walk. The steps are clumsy, awkward, unsteady. But to the parent watching, each attempt is cause for celebration. That's how the divine sees you. Not with disappointment, but with delight. Because movement, any movement, is proof that growth is happening. Let me share something real with you. In the quietest moments of my life, when I felt invisible, when I believed nothing I did mattered, I later discovered those moments were the most powerful. The day I chose to forgive someone who never said sorry. The night I prayed through tears that no one saw. The time I helped someone without expecting anything in return. Those were the days heaven leaned in. You see, your life is not ordinary. Even when it feels like you're just surviving, you're doing far more than that. You're changing the atmosphere around you. You're building resilience. You're choosing faith over fear. And that is what disrupts darkness. Let this truth settle deep in your soul. Every time you get up again, you dismantle the enemy's plan. Every time you speak when silence is easier, when you love without recognition, when you persist through exhaustion, you're creating ripple effects that echo into eternity. It may not look like much right now, but neither does a seed when it's first planted. And yet, deep underground, in complete darkness, a miracle is beginning. Roots are forming. Life is expanding. Soon, what was hidden will bloom for all to see. Right now, you're in the root phase. Quiet, unseen, but powerful. Heaven doesn't need headlines to celebrate you. It rejoices over the invisible, over the choices made in secret, over the integrity no one claps for, over the hope that holds strong when everything around you crumbles. Let's not pretend this walk is easy. It takes strength to keep going when answers don't come. It takes faith to keep praying when silence is all you hear. But the reward for your perseverance is closer than you think. That's not just a nice thought, it's truth. And you're living proof. Because despite everything meant to break you, you're still here. Your story didn't end in defeat. Your spirit didn't bow to fear. The fact that you're watching this, listening, absorbing every word, that alone is confirmation. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are in motion, and heaven is rejoicing over every step. And what comes next? It's bigger than survival. It's expansion, acceleration, divine favor. The winds are changing, even if you can't feel them yet. The doors are shifting. The chains are weakening. You may not see it, but the laughter of heaven has already begun. And when heaven laughs, it isn't casual. It's not amusement. It's declaration. It's the announcement that the atmosphere around your life has already changed. So today, pause and recognize what's actually happening. You're not just existing. You're stepping into alignment with purpose, with timing, with the version of you that was always meant to rise. You didn't just interrupt a pattern. You broke a cycle. What was designed to drain you is now fueling you. What once felt like resistance is now becoming revelation. And what looked like the end, it's just the beginning. So breathe deep, lift your chin, and keep moving forward. Because from this point on, your steps carry momentum. Your words carry power. Your yes carries legacy. And trust me, the best part of the story is just beginning. There's something powerful, earth-shaking even, that happens when heaven laughs over your life. It's not the kind of laughter we know here on earth. It's not comedy or coincidence. It's a sound rooted in certainty, assurance, victory. It's a divine proclamation that what was meant to break you failed. What was designed to delay you is now working to accelerate you. You may have thought that the hardships, the delays, the setbacks were signs that you were behind, overlooked, or left out. But when God laughs, all of that changes. That divine laugh isn't subtle. It's a signal, a loud, echoing reminder that you no longer have to walk hunched over in shame. You don't have to apologize for the space you take up. You're not a mistake. You're not late. You're not stuck. You are moving in sync with a rhythm only heaven can orchestrate. This laugh is not just a sound, it's strategy. It's heaven's response to the enemy's confusion. The darkness thought it had you mapped out. It studied your fears, timed your hesitations, and expected you to fold under the pressure. But then, you didn't. You moved in faith. You whispered, yes, when fear told you to run. And in that moment, heaven erupted, not in mockery, but in triumph. And here's the truth you need to hold on to. When God laughs, increase follows. The pain you endured, the prayers you prayed, the tears you sowed in silence, they were not wasted. That quiet suffering was not meaningless. It was planting, sowing, and now, the laughter of heaven is the rain that causes your seeds to break through the ground. Some of you have walked through seasons so long and silent that you began to wonder if anything was ever going to shift. Nights full of questions, days where every door felt shut, years where nothing seemed to move. But let me remind you, those weren't empty years. They were sacred ones. Every silent moment was a seed. Every act of obedience, though unnoticed, was recorded. And now, those seeds are waking up. Because when heaven laughs, harvest begins. And that harvest? It's not just for you. The ripple effect of your obedience will stretch far beyond your own life. Your decisions today, your sacrifices, your forgiveness, your persistence, are opening doors for generations. People you may never meet will benefit from your courage. Bloodlines will shift. Patterns will break. Communities will be blessed. Why? Because you didn't give up. Heaven is laughing because God sees the legacy you're building. And it's not small. Let this truth sink in deep. You're not just enduring hardship. You are a carrier of destiny. Every time you chose faith in the unseen, you were moving heaven's hand. Every step forward, no matter how trembling, has pushed your story closer to manifestation. That laugh you can't hear, but your spirit feels, it's confirmation. Confirmation that you are not forgotten, not lost, not left behind, but right on time. And when that divine laugh echoes through eternity, it does something to your soul. You begin to walk differently, with boldness, with calm strength. You stop shrinking yourself to fit spaces that no longer serve your growth. You stop seeking validation from people who can't see your worth. You stop apologizing for the anointing on your life. Why? Because you've realized the King has already laughed over you. And that changes everything. It's not the end of the battle. It's the beginning of momentum. When God laughs, it's not passive celebration. It's divine activation. That sound moves things. It shakes realms. It releases what was stuck. It unlocks what was sealed. It aligns what seemed disjointed. That laugh goes ahead of you and clears a path. It levels obstacles, straightens detours, and prepares a place for your breakthrough to unfold. So don't despise the waiting. Don't curse the silent seasons. What you called delay, heaven called development. What felt like rejection was actually protection. The isolation you hated was where your roots went deep. The prayers that went unanswered were shaping your endurance. And now is when the rain comes. Now is when the harvest starts to rise. I've walked through years that felt like deserts. Long seasons where every prayer echoed back with silence. I've watched others walk into celebration while I sat quietly, hoping, wondering if it would ever be my turn. And each time I hit that point of near collapse, I heard the same whisper from the divine, not yet, but soon. Trust the timing. And you know what? Looking back, I could see it clearly now. He was right. I wasn't ready for the blessing then. The foundation needed to be stronger. The roots needed to run deeper. And now, when I witness what has bloomed, I understand why the delay was never a denial. It was mercy. It was wisdom. It was love. The same is true for you. Those years you called wasted were actually construction zones. Blueprints were being followed. Frameworks were being installed. And today, that heavenly laugh is heaven's stamp. Construction complete. Breakthrough ahead. The very barriers that once confined you are trembling. The ceilings that capped your progress are cracking open. The doors that refuse to move are swinging wide. This laughter from above is not a joke. It's a statement, a decree, a heavenly announcement that says it is time, and you must rise to meet it. You may still feel small, unseen, forgotten, but I promise you, heaven has not missed a thing. Every drop of effort, every act of integrity, every night you whispered prayers into darkness. It's all been gathered, stored, and now is speaking louder than ever before. Let me say this clearly. Walk forward with confidence, not with arrogance, but with assurance, the kind that can't be shaken. When heaven laughs over your life, your posture shifts. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to compete. You don't need applause to validate your progress. You carry a deeper authority now, because the one who governs all things has already approved you. This laughter isn't entertainment, it's weaponry. It dismantles the enemy's playbook. It throws his plans into chaos. He thought he had you boxed in, predictable, easy to manipulate. He memorized your fears, anticipated your reactions, and plotted accordingly. But when you moved in faith, when you did the unexpected, heaven laughed. You broke the cycle. You shocked the system. And in doing so, you rewrote the ending. I've lived it. I've seen it. In seasons where I thought I was breaking down, heaven was actually celebrating. In the very moments that felt like failure, God was laughing because he already knew the turnaround was closer than I realized. What you see is incomplete, heaven sees as fulfilled. What you feel is uncertain, God calls settled. So let that holy laughter stir your spirit. Let awaken your dreams again. Let remind you that just because something looks unfinished doesn't mean it isn't right on track. Don't let past disappointments steal your belief. Don't let the fatigue of waiting make you lower your expectations. If God has laughed, the battle has already shifted. The only thing left to unfold is timing. And the laughter? That means it's soon. So chosen one, move forward boldly. You don't need perfection, just faith. Every small act counts. Every step forward matters. Every whisper of hope you dare to release into the atmosphere, it is felt, it is powerful. This is not the time to retreat. This is the time to rise, to expect, to prepare, because heaven is already celebrating you. That laughter you sense, it's not a dream. It's real. It's active. It's moving the very soil beneath your journey. What was meant to bury you is becoming the ground that grows you. What looked like the end is actually your next beginning. Carry this with you today. Let it breathe in your lungs. Let it steady your hands and quiet your fears. If heaven has already laughed, your victory is not just coming. It's unstoppable. Right now, you might be tempted to measure your journey by earthly standards, by how long it's taking, by what others have achieved, or by where you thought you'd be by now. But the timelines of this world, they're fragile, always changing, always comparing, always rushing. But the timing of heaven, it's perfect. Heaven doesn't use clocks or calendars. It works in eternal rhythms, in flawless alignment. So no, you're not late. You're not behind. You've not missed anything. That laughter from above is proof. You've arrived exactly where you were meant to be. And when God laughs over your life, nothing can stop what's coming. No person can block it. No circumstance can undo it. No lie can erase it. That holy sound is like a seal declaring that your season has changed and that divine alignment has already taken place. I understand the ache of waiting. I know what it feels like to sit in the silence, praying with all your heart and hearing nothing back. I know the sting of watching others walk into celebration while you sit in shadows. But I also know something else. When God finally moves, when he begins to reveal what he's been preparing behind the curtain, that laugh, oh, that laugh, makes all the silence make sense. It becomes clear. The delay was never rejection. It was protection. The hiding wasn't punishment. It was preparation. The waiting didn't mean you were forgotten. It meant he was enlarging you, stretching you, strengthening you to carry something far greater than you imagined. When his timing finally unfolded in my own life, it all clicked. Every tear, every unanswered prayer, every no that hurt at the time. They weren't empty. They were building something within me. And when that moment came, when heaven laughed, I finally understood why the wait was so necessary. Every second had purpose, and chosen one. The same is true for you. Your hidden years have been sacred, not wasted, sacred. Each quiet prayer you whispered in secret was a seed. Each act of kindness, each step of obedience, even when no one noticed, was watering the ground beneath you. And now, heaven's laughter is the sound of breakthrough pushing through the soil. What you thought was gone forever is rising. What you believed was invisible is now being revealed. The promise is unfolding right before you. You see, heaven doesn't rejoice without reason. When the heavens erupt in laughter, it's because something eternal is taking shape. It's the celebration of fulfilled prophecy. The sound of heaven saying, "It's time." Think about Sarah. When she first heard the promise, she laughed, but not out of joy. She laughed in disbelief. How could someone my age carry something so impossible? But God wasn't shaken by her doubt. He was steady in his promise. And in the end, it was his laughter that prevailed. Sarah didn't just laugh again, she held the promise in her arms. And that's what's ahead for you. Not just words, not just hope, but fulfillment. Tangible, undeniable fulfillment. So live like the promise is already yours. Pray as if it's already been delivered. Speak like it's unfolding before your eyes. Walk like the doors are already swinging open. Because God's laughter isn't a hopeful maybe. It's a divine confirmation. It's heaven's way of saying, this is settled. I've stood in seasons where everything looked finished. Dreams gone, opportunities buried, doors closed tight. I thought I'd missed my chance. I mourned silently, believing it was over. But then everything changed. Out of nowhere, doors swung open. Help came from places I never imagined. People I hadn't even met yet played key roles in my story. And as I watched it all unfold, I realized heaven had been laughing the whole time. It wasn't laughter at me. It was laughter for me. God had already written the ending. He was just waiting for me to catch up. And chosen one, that's what he's doing for you right now. You might feel unequipped, unworthy, or unqualified. But heaven already sees you as approved. You may think no one notices, but heaven has already applauded your every step. You may feel like you're holding on by a thread, but in that weakness, God has clothed you in his strength. Stop downplaying how far you've come. Stop acting like your faith is small just because it's been quiet. Heaven's laughter is your proof. You are chosen. You are sealed. You are walking in purpose. And don't you ever forget this. God doesn't laugh over lost causes. He laughs over rising stories. Your scars are going to tell stories of healing. Your tears will become rivers of revival. Your battles will become weapons of breakthrough. His laughter declares that your purpose cannot be erased, no matter what the enemy tried. Because your breakthrough is not just for you. It's for the generations attached to your journey. Your obedience will clear the path for others. Your faith will ignite strength in those ready to quit. Your quiet resilience will offer hope to hearts that are tired and afraid. Heaven laughs because God sees what's coming. He sees the impact of your yes. He sees chains breaking, bloodlines healing, futures shifting, all because you chose to keep walking. So lift your head, chosen one, not with arrogance, but with sacred confidence. You're not crawling toward victory. You're already walking in it. You're not trying to win. You're walking out a win that's already been declared. That holy laughter, it silences the noise. It shuts down the doubts. It unravels every trap laid against you. His joy is mightier than fear. His sound is louder than insecurity. His declaration is the final word. So wear it like armor. Let it echo in your spirit. Let it guide you when the road seems uncertain. Because if the King of Heaven has already laughed over your life, then nothing, absolutely nothing, can steal what's yours. And here's something else about that divine laughter. It doesn't fade. It doesn't vanish after one victory. It lingers. It reverberates. It ripples through time, carrying momentum with it. That sound becomes the wind behind your steps, the unseen force behind sudden favor, the gentle push behind supernatural breakthroughs. God's laughter doesn't stay in heaven. It moves. It travels. It reaches into your world, breaking old cycles, rewriting rules, and establishing new foundations. And all of that from one act of faith. Don't ever underestimate what a single moment of trust can do. You might think it was small, forgettable, insignificant, but heaven sees it differently. Your whispered yes has power. Your quiet prayer has weight. Your trembling obedience carries eternal authority. Heaven laughs because God knows what's happening behind the scenes. He knows what the enemy never could predict, that your yes started a chain reaction. And now, all of hell's strategies are unraveling thread by thread. I've been there. I've prayed prayers that felt like they hit the ceiling. I've wondered if anyone was listening. I've spoken hope into the void, not knowing if it mattered. But later, I would see the fruits. A conversation changed, a connection made, an opportunity that made no logical sense. And in those moments, I felt it, that holy joy, that sound of heaven delighting in the power of what looked so small. That's the mystery of faith. It doesn't need to look loud to be powerful. So don't measure your progress by applause. Don't measure your obedience by visibility. God doesn't wait for perfection. He responds to authenticity. He moves in purity. He delights in faith. One tiny act can change everything. One step can heal a lineage. One yes can destroy what's tormented generations. And that's why he laughs. Not because you're flawless, but because you're faithful. Anointed one, never forget. The enemy plays chess with your past. He sets traps based on old patterns, expecting the same responses. But when you break the pattern, when you don't quit, don't shut down, don't give up, that's when you shock the system. That's when heaven laughs. And when heaven laughs, the game changes. You may not realize it yet, but today you did something radical. You made a move that shifted more than just your circumstances. It changed the atmosphere around you. You chose grace when bitterness would have been easier. You decided to believe when silence felt safer. You stood tall when everything in your world seemed to be collapsing. And that one choice, that unexpected move, it flipped the entire board. The traps set for you didn't just fail, they disintegrated. Heaven saw your decision and responded with laughter. Not laughter at you, but laughter for you. The kind of divine joy that signals you've just broken a cycle. Chosen one, understand the power in that. When you refuse to fall back into familiar patterns, when you rise above the very things that once defeated you, you trigger heaven's celebration. Each time you resist the pull of old temptations, you unleash divine delight. Each time you choose trust instead of fear, you set off a ripple in eternity. And each shaky, forward-moving step you take, even if it's full of trembling, carries the sound of heaven's laughter. That laughter is the rhythm of your resilience. I felt it too. There were seasons where I faced the same battles again and again, patterns I couldn't seem to escape. But the day I chose differently, even quietly, even without a parade, it was like the world shifted. Something broke. Chains fell. And though nothing looked different on the outside, everything changed on the inside. Heaven took notice. One choice is all it takes to birth a new chapter. And this is your moment. God's laughter isn't just celebration of today. It's the prophetic announcement of tomorrow. It says, things are moving. Acceleration has begun. Doors are creaking open. Opportunities are aligning. And you're no longer just surviving. You're stepping into overflow. The laughter you heard in the spirit yesterday, it's still echoing. And it's reminding every part of creation that your future is being shaped in victory. So don't ever belittle the beginnings. Don't dismiss the small steps. Don't compare your quiet journey to the loud highlights of others. Heaven is not moved by noise. Heaven is drawn to depth. A single act of integrity done in secret outweighs 1,000 acts done for attention. One whispered prayer, released in faith, shakes more than entire speeches shouted for applause. That's the beauty of God's laughter. It reveals what really matters. Picture how a parent responds to a baby's first steps. They don't demand perfection. They don't criticize the wobble. They don't sigh in frustration when the child falls. No, they rejoice. They cheer. They celebrate the movement, no matter how unsteady. That's how heaven looks at you. It's not about how smooth your steps are. It's about the fact that you're still stepping, still believing, still trusting. The laughter of heaven is God's way of saying, I see your courage, and I'm delighted. And that sound, it's stronger than any lie. Let his joy drown out every whisper of doubt. Let his delight cancel every false prediction of failure. When heaven laughs over your life, it's no longer a matter of if. The victory is certain, it's just a matter of time. So carry that truth with you every day. Heaven doesn't wait for you to cross the finish line to celebrate. Heaven is cheering now, rejoicing now, laughing now. The moment you choose faith, even the quiet kind, you unleash heaven's power into your present. And that power doesn't just sustain you, it carries you. It confirms you. It clears the path before you. So walk with confidence, not the kind rooted in pride, but the kind rooted in knowing you are already approved. You're not striving to earn anything. You're moving from approval that was already given. You're not chasing victory. You're walking in one that's already sealed. The King has laughed, and that sound is your covering, your confidence, and your crown. Now listen closely, chosen one. Heaven isn't just responding to your loudest days. It's responding to your most sincere moments. The world looks for big platforms, for flashing lights and viral moments. But heaven leans in for the whispers, the pure-hearted yes, the integrity no one sees. One trembling yes, offered in secret, holds more power than 1,000 loud declarations. One quiet moment of faith outweighs 100 public performances designed for attention. You may feel invisible, but heaven sees. You may feel average, but God has marked you extraordinary. So stop minimizing your journey. Stop waiting for someone else to affirm what God has already confirmed. You've been comparing yourself to curated highlights. But heaven isn't measuring by noise. It's measuring depth. And you, anointed one, have depth. Maybe you felt unseen for a long time. Maybe you've questioned whether your effort even matters. But let me say this clearly. Survival itself is proof of strength. Every breath you take is a declaration. I'm still here. Every step you make is a whisper to the enemy. You lost. And every time you get up again, heaven takes notice. Chosen one, your strength has been underestimated, even by you. You've lived in the fight so long, you don't even realize how much power you carry now. But the truth is this: what tried to destroy you failed. And that fact alone makes your life a living testimony. Each scar is proof that you didn't just survive, but destined to accelerate. And now, heaven is announcing it boldly. This is no longer about surviving. This is your season of speed, your moment of movement. Momentum is gathering. Breakthrough is rising. The very ground beneath your feet is shifting in your favor. That tension in your spirit, that unease, that feeling that something bigger is circling your life, it's real. The laughter of heaven has stirred the air around you. It's not quiet. It's not passive. It's pulling blessings out of hiding. It's calling breakthroughs from the invisible into the now. And it all started because you dared to say yes when saying no would have been so much easier. Think of that decision like a stone dropped into a still lake. At first, it's just a splash, but then the ripples move outward farther than you can see. That step of faith you took today, maybe small, maybe unseen, sent ripples into eternity. Angels were dispatched, chains were loosened, doors began to respond, and seeds, planted long ago in secret, began to tremble with new life. You might not see all the outcomes yet, but you will. God doesn't laugh without cause. He doesn't rejoice without reason. That laughter you felt deep in your soul, it carried weight. It carried promise. It was the sound of heaven saying, "This battle has already shifted in your favor." So hold on to that truth. If God is laughing, then you don't have to keep doubting. Let go of the fear. Let go of the uncertainty. Let go of questioning your strength, your value, your timing. If heaven has already celebrated your step, then the outcome is not up for debate. Victory is not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And here's the part that flips everything. We've been taught to celebrate at the finish line, but heaven celebrates at the start. Heaven honors the process, not just the final product. The journey itself is holy. The struggle, the learning, the pressing forward, it's all sacred. When you understand that, everything shifts. You stop living like you're not there yet, and you begin moving like someone who's already chosen. You stop chasing unstable approval from people who can't understand your calling, and you start walking in the unwavering approval of the one who created you. And when you walk like that, when you carry that kind of quiet confidence, nothing can shake you. No voice can silence you. No delay can break you. No rejection can stop what's already been sealed. The King has laughed. And that sound, it was for you. He saw you today. The effort you thought didn't matter. The trembling obedience. The quiet yes. He saw it all. And he laughed, not out of surprise, but out of joy, because he knows what that moment has unlocked. Your story isn't stuck. It's moving. Your obedience isn't weak. It's powerful. The outcome? It's already rewritten in your favor. So hold that laughter in your spirit. Let it echo through your doubts. Let it silence every whisper that tells you you're falling behind. If God is laughing, the ending is already secure. And chosen one, that ending, it's victory. Heaven rejoices, and it's not just for the miracles already seen. It laughs because one act of obedience from your life is now flowing like a river into the lives of many. Chosen one, your story is more than just your own. Your life has become a living message. Every scar you carry whispers of survival. Every step you've taken tells of redemption. Every breakthrough you experience becomes a roadmap for others still finding their way through the valley. That's why heaven laughs, because what once looked like a breakdown was actually becoming a breakthrough. What once felt like failure is now wisdom in motion. Your lowest point? It's now a reference point for others climbing out of despair. Your life is a sermon no microphone can deliver. It's written in faith, forged in fire, and sealed by the laughter of God. And chosen one, there's something more happening here. That sound of divine joy also marks a holy exchange. Where loss once echoed, abundance is being restored. What was stolen from you in silence is being returned, amplified. Heaven laughs because blessings are being rerouted. Provision is shifting. Doors are opening not by chance, but by covenant. This isn't random. This is promise. What's happening in your life isn't coincidence, it's alignment. The divine has orchestrated this moment for such a time as this. So when the doors swing open, don't hesitate. Walk through, boldly, because those doors weren't accidents. They're your assignments. Heaven laughs because the path you're now walking was carved out long before you ever took your first step. No force can hold you back. No gate can stand closed. God's laughter has cleared the way. The keys to access? They've already been placed in your hands. Still, I know the questions. I've asked them too. Why me? Am I ready? Do I deserve this? But God's response is steady and sure. It was never about what you deserve. It's always been about your willingness. Heaven doesn't laugh because you earned it. Heaven laughs because you surrendered. Your yes wasn't small. It was generational. That one word, spoken in trembling faith, shattered chains you never saw and opened doors your children's children will walk through. Chosen one, remember, heaven's laughter is warfare. It's not soft or sentimental. It's thunder in the unseen. It mocks the plans of darkness. It shouts, "This battle is over." Victory has already been claimed. The enemy tried to write your ending, tried to bury you beneath shame, tried to steal your voice, strip your strength, and silence your story. But here you are, still rising, still standing, still anointed, still chosen, still becoming everything heaven already knew you were. Let that truth anchor you. If God is laughing, then you can breathe again. You can rest. You can stop bracing for collapse and start preparing for overflow. His laughter isn't careless. It's covenantal. A declaration that he knows the outcome, and that outcome is breakthrough. Let his laughter be louder than your fears. Let it hush every whisper that tries to call you inadequate. When heaven laughs, there's no more debate. The story has been decided, and it ends in triumph. So rise, beloved. This season isn't about barely making it. It's about flourishing. It's not about hiding. It's about rising. It's not about waiting. It's about walking in what's already been written. Your gifts were never meant to stay hidden. Your calling was never meant to stay small. The weight you carry is too divine to remain in silence. The voice within you is too powerful to stay muted. Heaven laughs because your moment of revealing has come. And now walk like you know it. Move with that sound in your spirit. Let silence the lies. Let break comparison. Let it become the beat of your every step. Step forward, not for applause, but because heaven has already celebrated you. The decree has gone forth. The outcome is settled. The King has laughed, and that laughter is your armor, your confidence, your crown. So listen closely, chosen one. That laughter, it isn't fading away into the distance. It's alive right now. It's not leftover from yesterday. It's not on hold for tomorrow. It's vibrating through your present reality. And every time he laughs, something shifts. Chains break, doors unlock, walls fall, delays collapse. His laughter sends angels into motion. It activates the miraculous. It realigns every wrong turn. It shakes timelines and births new beginnings. That's the power of the joy of the Lord. It's not entertainment, it's evidence. His laughter is the living roar of eternity. It is sound and strength wrapped in one. I know what silence feels like. I know the pain of long nights and empty prayers. I know what it's like to wonder, did heaven turn away? But then breakthrough came, and I realized the silence had not been abandonment. It had been preparation. And that laugh I now hear, it had been echoing over me the whole time. It wasn't mocking me. It was shielding me. It was protecting the process. And it's doing the same for you. You've survived more than you give yourself credit for. You've outlasted what was meant to destroy you. That alone makes your life a prophecy. Every breath is a message. Every step is proof that hell's plans failed. The enemy crafted his strategies carefully, but heaven's laughter dismantled them entirely. You prayed when your heart was dry. You forgave when it hurt. You hoped when hopelessness seemed easier. And each of those choices shook the unseen. They made heaven dance, because the one who wasn't supposed to make it did. And not only did you make it, you're about to overflow. You're not recovering scraps. You're entering surplus. The places where lack ruled will now flow with abundance. What was delayed will arrive suddenly. What was broken will be rebuilt stronger than before. That's what heaven's laughter signifies. It means the story ends not in emptiness, but in increase. So release the shame. Let go of the guilt. Stop rewatching the reel of past mistakes. Heaven's laughter is louder than your regrets. It wipes out what once defined you. You're not your past. You are not your failures. You're not the labels others placed on you. You are chosen. You are redeemed. You are rising. I've been where you are, whispering, "Why me?" feeling unworthy. But God spoke, and I finally understood. It was never about perfection. It was always about surrender. And your surrender has shifted timelines. Your yes has planted seeds you may never see the full harvest of, but generations will thank you for them. That's why heaven's laughter never ends. It is not powered by performance. It's powered by covenant. It's laughter rooted in love, joy rooted in certainty, victory declared long before you even took your first step. And never forget, that laughter is also warfare. It's God mocking the futility of every dark plan aimed at you. It's his decree that says, this battle is finished. Pits turned into wells. Curses turned into blessings. What was supposed to break you built you. Let that laughter be your anthem. Let it fill the silence. Let it echo in the face of fear. Let it rise above every lie that says you're not enough. If God is laughing, then rest easy. You're safe. If God is laughing, walk boldly. Your victory is already secure. So rise, chosen one. Pray like the answer is in your hands. Speak like the door has already opened. Move like the crown already rests on your head. Because the victory you were hoping for, you're already walking in it. You're not begging for approval. You're living from approval already given. You are seen. You are called. You are destined to win. And as we close this word, feel this in your spirit. Heaven is still laughing over you. The throne is shaking with joy. Your name is spoken with delight. That laughter is the sound of breakthrough in motion. The moment you thought was the end, it's actually the beginning of the most powerful chapter yet. The soil where you wept is about to bloom. The tears you sowed in silence are rising up as harvest in abundance. So walk forward with peace, with gratitude, with courage. And if this message has spoken to you, if you felt that shift, that stirring, that echo deep in your spirit, stay close. There's more truth, more light, more life. This isn't just the end of a message. It's the beginning of a movement. So subscribe to Life Simplified to continue walking in this revelation and share this word with someone else who needs to remember God is laughing over their life too. And if you feel led, type it boldly in the comments. I receive this victory. Because you're not waiting for the breakthrough anymore. You're living in it. And heaven is still laughing.